Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's September 3rd, 2013. To my left is Logan and I'm Brock Schimbrill. We had a mixed trade coming out of the holiday weekend. Let's turn over to Fire Tip to see how we ended. Corn was down 6 3/4 cents. Soybeans up 29 1/4. Wheat in Chicago down 6 3/4 as well. Kansas City was off 4 1/2 today. You know, Logan, it seems like soybeans continues to be the leader to the upside, continuing to rally. And really what was driving the rally today was the lack of beneficial rains over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, expectations coming into the weekend were for some decent rain to possibly hit the Corn Belt, and we really didn't receive that in a meaningful way here over the Labor Day weekend. I really think that helped get the things started here in the overnight session. We did see it gap higher, and really helping it keep those gains into the close was expectations for the USDA crop conditions report out this afternoon. Take a look here at this slide detailing what the USDA projected for both the corn and soybean crop here. As you can see now, 42% of corn is reported dented. 56% of the corn crop is now rated good to excellent. That's down 3% on the week. But as you said, Brock, soybeans remains the key story here as we now have a majority of the crop really into the pod setting stage. Take a look here in terms of soybeans, 92% now pod setting, and we saw a pretty sizable hit to the good to excellent rating, down 4% on the week. One of the really big takeaways was, I think, Illinois and Iowa good to excellent ratings in particular. In the state of Iowa, we saw soybean conditions down 6%. In Illinois, they were down 8%. So that's kind of really leading the charge lower there for two very important states here for the overall production. Certainly would expect that to support the trade in the overnight session, but I think a lot of the numbers that we saw reported today were kind of reflected in last week's trade when we saw a really strong soybean market. Really here moving forward though, weather is going to continue to drive the soybean market in particular. Is there any relief in sight, I guess?
You know, over the next 6 to 10 days, it looks like the temperature pattern is going to be much the same as what we've seen over the last week or so. Pretty warm temperatures. If you take a look at this map here provided by Planalytics, we're anticipating a very good chance of having above normal to quite above normal temperatures across much of the Midwest, especially out in that area that's already been stricken by the heat. Right. Most recently, the western part of the Corn Belt into Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, some of those areas. If you take a look at how the soil moisture is actually, or the crop moisture has actually changed over the last week or so as well, you can see that there's been substantial drying, especially in that southern Iowa, western Illinois, and northern Missouri areas, and then even up into Minnesota as well. So I think that's why we saw those conditions ratings, like you noted, particularly in Iowa and in Illinois, move drastically to the downside on the soybeans.
Yeah, certainly. You know, I think here over the next couple of weeks, certainly weather is going to remain very important for soybeans in particular. A lot of people are kind of looking at this corn crop in terms of development and saying it's really too late for rain to really change the yield there in a meaningful way. So keep an eye on soybeans in particular. And really, I guess, Brock, here, the next big thing that we have on our plates here is the September 12th USDA WISE report. Certainly, we're going to expect some big changes in terms of production out of that report after a month of August that really saw some pretty harsh growing conditions for the soybean crop in particular. We'll keep you posted on expectations for that coming into that report. But you know, in general, Brock, I think that's kind of what we saw here on a Tuesday to start the week off. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you here tomorrow.